Hello, everybody, and welcome to our weekly webinar. Now, this is the second of three on psychographics and how to apply them to acquiring the best possible location for a professional practice. Now, last week, I introduced the concept of psychographics. Please understand that what a psychographic is it's like demographics, although it goes much deeper. You might even say you're getting into the brains of people. You're looking at how they make decisions, what they value. Now, the reason that this is so important when it comes to figuring out where to put a practice is that if you know something about the desirability of the population and their likelihood of seeking care from you, it's going to be a much better location. Unfortunately, what a lot of people are doing right now is they go to a demographer who will give them the ratio of dentists or physicians or optometrists per population. And you'll assume, well, look, if there's nobody out there that's competing with me, it's a good location. Well, it's not. The point that I'm trying to make here is we have to go beyond the idea of simply a ratio, and that's what last week's episode was about. Right now, what I want to talk to you about is the desirability of the people based upon what they want and need, because that's ultimately what a psychographic measures. It is looking at what people have already expressed that they want and need and have, and what they're looking for in a professional practice like yours. Yes, it matters for a dentist if a person is likely to seek care. And therefore, if there are a lot of people who want dental care, this is a good location for you to go, and tends to mitigate significantly the impact upon lots of competing practices in the area. The same thing's true of veterinary medicine. Not everybody wants the same services for their pets in the same way, and the same thing is true of optometric or medical or pediatric services. That's what this is all about. Now, let me share my screen and go through a very short PowerPoint presentation with you, or at least use these slides to show you what I mean. Now, ultimately, psychographics is yes, it's a great and a well-established methodology of doing research, but the point is most of the people out there who do demographics don't understand psychographics because, first of all, they don't have the training in the math and social sciences. Now, I'm not trying to brag here, but you probably know that I'm a professor of mass communications. And it is through my research and learning that I want to share with professionals what I've learned. Now, let's talk about just knowing competition ratio is not sufficient. You're often going to make a false positive or false negative assumption about the area, and that is just not in your best interest. What this is research on what customers and patients need and want, and what we call this is psychographics. When it was developed, as I mentioned last week, it is a value and lifestyle measurement. Psychographics is great for getting into people's heads to determine the demand for your services. You cannot simply say that everybody in the United States is the same. To do that, well, it wouldn't matter getting into any kind of research, and a simple, straight statistical measurement of competition ratio would be enough. Psychographics helps you figure out what goes beyond that. Psychographics is also called demographic cluster grouping because you're taking certain demographic characteristics of the population and determining based on their other behaviors what they're likely to do. This may take a little explanation. People can be distinguished from each other, and one area determine how good it is and how bad another area is based upon the needs and wants expressed by people. So, what are they already buying? How have they expressed their needs and how they want to be served? How much are they willing to pay? Or what are they willing to be charged for other things? What they want and that will meet their needs is what you want to know. Now, let me give you a quick example, and this is a dumb one. If you wanted to have a 24-hour practice and be open at midnight, is this what people have already expressed that they need and want in an area? The likely answer is no, they don't. But the potential exists there may be some areas that do want 24-hour care from the kinds of services that you offer. Psychographics would tell you if that's true or not. A simple demographic information won't. They also are characteristics of their demand and why, in other words, they buy what they do. Pride of ownership, luxury, convenience, excitement, security, fear of making risks. You see, there are lots of reasons why people do things. That's why it's called a values study. Now, people usually will cluster themselves into groups based upon other things that they need and want. I'll give you an obvious example of the people who live in your neighborhood. The people who live in your neighborhood make, generally speaking, close to the same amount of money. They want to have usually a rental apartment, or they want to have a home, or they want to have a place that can accommodate large families or very small families. But they'll tend to put themselves in a geographic area where other people have made similar decisions. And in that way, they're clustering. This same thing is true of employment. In fact, people will tend to put themselves in an environment where other people are doing much the same thing that they do for a living. They will also have similar educational attainment. I mean, people who are college graduates usually will hang together, and people who are not will tend to hang together. You get the idea? Even what they do for fun, recreation, is similar. And so what you want to do is to find out as much as you can, not just about your narrow practice services, but also what other services people in the area are needing, wanting, and using. That's where a value and lifestyle study or a psychographic profile will really help you. Now, I use Tapestry, which is put out by ESRI or Esri. It's a large market research firm. There are several, by the way. This isn't the only one. It's the one I like. And I'm bringing this up because it's so well researched. They have 14 life modes. Now, what they refer to that, it's a little more ham-fisted. Are these rich people, poor people, well-educated people, big families, small families? And they've got about 14 general categories of these people. Within those 14 categories, there are 67 psychographic or lifestyle groups. When you're doing a report with us, I'll actually tell you which groups are dominant and also something about those groups to say, are they likely to want and need what we're offering? So you see, you start off with a life mode, then you look at the psychographic groups. I mean, this is how we as researchers do it. But it's not enough simply to say, oh yeah, here's what everybody who happens to be in this psychographic group or life mode wants. You have to go a little deeper. So what is it a dental patient who has that lifestyle group? What do they want? Are they going to want pulpectomies for their kids? Are they going to be people who want dental implants? Not everybody does. Some people do. And with this information, you can make the assumptions. Is this a good place for like a veterinary medical practice? Is it a good place for a cats only practice? Is this the kind of place that will be really fantastic for a boarding place? But you see, the psychographic clustering will tell you that. It also helps you understand the services that are in need and demanded, and even the equipment that you might want to spend money on, because that's going to be a manifestation of people's wants and needs. How the practice model works, multiple doctors, hours of operation, how to promote the practice, how to advertise it, what to say, even how to name your practice, and then locations for the practice viability for a particular group you're trying to reach. That's where psychographics can help you. Now, ultimately, what you're trying to do is to look for a type of patient or customer based upon preferences and profitability for you and your practice model. The type of patient is defined by their psychographics. Geography is a companion expression of psychographics and demographics. So you see, if you know who you're trying to reach, we can tell you where to go. That's the relationship. The clinical demand, the messaging, media, and the pricing are all psychographic expressions. So the more you know about the people, their wants, needs, and lifestyles, the better you can be in matching their needs. But that's why I warn you against the idea of simply saying, oh, we're going to just find out how many other providers there are for the population. Because, and remember this, not everybody is the same, and their demands and desires from their medical healthcare provider isn't the same. That's what we're saying. To get a good psychographic profile, we offer that at drdemographics.com, and you could get them in the market report. We'll tell you what the dominant ones are and also how it relates to the type of practice you have. We can also talk about this in telephone consultations, and the Best Sites report will actually say where a particular life mode or psychographic group can be found. And then, of course, if you're looking at a specific site, we can tell you, is the practice site viable for the type of people you're looking for? Now, we are offering a discount on these webinars. Please go to Miracle Max 49 and enter that on the line when you order. You'll save some money. Go to drdemographics.com and look for other specialties that are special offers that we have, as well as descriptions of what parts of the United States are looking best and which are not looking so great. That is all for free at our website at Dr. Demographics. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time and attention. Take care.